Okay, so now let's go to general channel. Okay, so as I put in the chat box just now, so for the class test 2, already scheduled on 27 September, which is next Monday, 4:45 p.m. So after your after our class, okay, after our class on Monday, 15 minutes, so you can have a short break, then get ready for the test. Okay. Then the information is already put here. So as usual, 1.5 hours for answering, then another half an hours for the submission. Okay. Then the weightage of the test is actually 25%, only assessed on the matrices. Okay. Okay. Then there is another post. Okay. So these are the two sets of the questions I compiled for you to practice, to prepare for the class test 2. So for okay, for your information, the class test 2, the format is the same as class test 1. Okay, so 50 marks, 4 questions with 50 marks. Okay. Okay, so format of class test 2, okay, 25%, 50 marks, 4 questions. Okay. Okay, all compulsory question. Okay, then as I say, tomorrow we will do the revision. So I will use the revision questions that I posted. Okay, then I will discuss with you. Okay, so one of the sets of the questions I will actually share the solution. So maybe another set of questions I will do the discussions with you. Okay, so wait, let me have a look. Which one? Okay, so I will discuss revision 2B tomorrow. Okay, so if you have then maybe 2A, I will just post a solution. Okay, or in case you have any questions you want me to discuss on 2A, you just let me know. But tomorrow I will more focus on discuss revision 2B. Okay. So tomorrow we'll discuss revision 2B. Okay, you can actually practice the question first. Okay, then maybe it would be easier. Okay, will be faster. Okay, so if we can clarify everything, then we will continue with our complex numbers. Okay, so this is week 8 already. Okay, so hopefully we don't get, affect our teaching progress for the third topic. Okay, now let's move on to your tutorial. So tutorial, we are supposed to continue question 1 to question 7. Okay, let's have a quick recap on what we have gone through, right, during the last class. So first you need to understand the complex numbers, and I think you all should be very familiar with the complex numbers that is in the Cartesian form. Okay, so okay, we started with the Cartesian form. Okay, remember. Okay, Cartesian form, the complex numbers, and j is the square root of -1. Okay, then we have gone through about the operations, remember? Okay, yeah, first, we can represent the complex numbers in the Argand diagram, and you have to take note. We can write it as a plus yj. Okay, so it will be easier for you to remember. The x is actually, the x-axis is representing the real numbers, the real part, and the y-axis representing the imaginary part. Okay, if I write in this way. So it's also same as a plus bj. Okay, then the angle should reflect on which quadrant the complex numbers fall into. That means it will determine by the positive or negative sign of the real and the imaginary part of the complex number. Okay, then we also go through on how to do the addition subtraction. So addition and subtraction means we have to do the real part and the imaginary part separately. Okay, then when come to multiplication, you just expand it as usual. The only things you need to take note is for the j squared that you obtain, you can replace it as -1. Okay, then other than that, it's the same as a normal expansion like you do for algebra. Okay, then when come to the division, then we need to multiply with the complex conjugate. So remember what is a complex conjugate? So complex conjugate means if you have 3 plus j4, then the complex conjugate will be the same complex numbers but inverse the sign of the imaginary part. So if let's say the imaginary part is positive, then the complex conjugate will be minus. If let's say that is a minus, then it will be positive. Okay, then for the division, okay, division of the complex numbers, right? You are going to multiply with the complex conjugate, right? Okay, then at the top, you just expand it as usual. Then at the bottom, remember, I say if you already understand how to do it, you can just directly take the square of the 3 and the square of the 4. And where's the 3, where's the 4 come from? So 3 is the values of the real part, 4 is the values of the imaginary part. So just take 3 square plus 4 square, okay? Then you get the value at the bottom. Okay, so the reason we multiply by the complex conjugate, then we don't have any imaginary part at the bottom of the fraction, right? So the numbers at the bottom will be the real number, okay? No more j, no more imaginary part, okay? Then this is how we do with the division. Then after that, we also go through on the polar form, right? How we actually convert the Cartesian form to the polar form. So if let's say this is your complex numbers, right? Okay. So x, according to the Argand diagram, we can write x as r cos theta, y as r sin theta. So for the complex numbers, we can write as r cos theta plus j r sin theta. Okay, and this is the polar form. Okay, and when come to polar form, right? Okay, when come to polar form, we can abbreviate it as this. Okay, we can abbreviate it as a r angle theta. So this is our polar form. Okay, then next things, okay, so for the r, okay, the r in the polar form, right, is actually referring to the modulus. We call it as a modulus, okay, or we say magnitude. So this is a symbol, okay, the modulus of the complex numbers, which we calculate as the square root of x squared plus y squared. And then the angle, okay, is reflect which quadrant, okay, of the complex numbers is in, right? Okay, then and it's also determined by the positive and negative sign of the x and y value, which is the real part and the imaginary part. Okay, and theta, we call it as an argument. Okay, argument of the z, which is a theta, and we calculate as an arctangent of y over x. So as I told you, my practice is we just calculate the basic angle first. Then based on the sign of the x and y, the imaginary part and the real part, then we determine where is the quadrant of the complex numbers. Then we just calculate accordingly. right? So whether we need to minus the basic angle or we need to plus the basic angle, so it depends on which quadrant they are. Okay, so that's how we actually write it in the polar form. Okay, then okay, I think last week I stopped it here, right? Okay, so I stopped at the okay, sorry, is here. Okay, this example, okay, so this particular example. Okay, so this is where I stop, okay. Okay, now let's move on to the tutorial question. So I asked you to do questions 1 to 7. It's actually quite many questions here, okay, before we proceed to others. Okay, now let's look at start with number 1. Number 1 is a simple one. It's actually referring to our first example in the slide. Okay, can any students unmute the mic and let me know that you can see my screen? Jamboard, can you see the Jamboard?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's proceed. Remember, okay, how we write this into the complex numbers. But when I say write in the complex numbers, you must give me the J. Okay, you must give me the J. Okay, so if I refer to questions A, right, Z squared minus 4Z plus 13 equals to 0. Okay, let's use the formula, okay, the quadratic formula. So minus B plus minus B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. So according to here, the A is 1, then the B is negative 4, and the C is 13, right? Okay, so substitute. Then we have negative 4 plus minus, okay, negative 4 square minus 4 times 1 times C, 13. Okay, then divided by 2A, so 2 times 1, okay? Okay, then we try to simplify it, so I get a 4, then in the square root, I have a negative 36, then divided by 2, okay? Then I can simplify further, okay? Oh yeah, I can write it as a 6, okay? Square root of 6, square root of, okay, square root of 36 is a 6, okay? So we have 6 square root of minus 1, then divided by 2. So you can see both 4 and 6 can be cancelling down with 2. So after cancelling down, then I have 2 plus minus 3 square root of minus 1. So where I can write it as 2 plus minus of 3j. Okay, so that's the answer for part A. Okay, so can I have students to demonstrate the answers for the solution for B? 1 students. Okay, may I know who have done question 1? Can I have any students here? Cryptocon. Yeah. Have you done question 1? Cryptocon?
Haven't done, miss.
Haven't done. Okay. How about other students?
Can I go for it, miss?
Ilalam, can? Okay. Post your solution for questions B, yeah?
1B, okay, miss.
1B. Okay. Then C, for C, I will just share the answer with you. So I just want the students to show me one solution for B. Okay, so Kritakon, you better do it now. Okay, while waiting for the answer from B, from Ilalam, okay, let me, okay, give you the answer for C. Okay, so for C, right, your answer will be minus 2 plus minus 5j, okay? Okay, so it's okay. Samuel say he has done the question, but it's okay. C, because it's a simple one, we just skip this question. So I just give you the answer. Then we move on to other question. Okay. Then other questions I may want the students to give me the solution. Okay, I'm more focused on others. So while waiting for Ilalam for B, right? Okay, for C, those already done C. Is it tally with your answer? -2 plus minus 5j for C. Yes or no?
Yes, Miss.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay, now let's have a look with the solution from Ilalam. Okay. Okay. Oh, this one. Okay, hold on. Okay, so for questions 1B, right? Okay.
Miss.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me check this.
Oh, okay. So for questions 1B, right? Okay, A is 1, B is -2, -4AC, C is 10. Okay, correct. Then 2A in the square root, okay, is square root of -36. Yes, correct. Okay. Then -1, 6/2. Okay, hold on. 2 plus minus square root of 36. Okay, so this part should be 2 plus minus 6 square root of -1/2. Right? Okay. Then we can, since the whole thing is divided by 2, we can cancel the 2 and with the 6. Okay, so you still have a 1 for the real part. So it should be 1 plus minus of 3 square root of -1. So which is 1 plus minus of 3j. Okay, or we can write it as 1 plus minus of j3 is also the same. Okay, so Ilalam, you miss out the 1 in the front.
Okay, miss.
Understand? Okay. Yeah, so this is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, so this is a correct answer for B. Okay. Then this is the answer for C. Okay, and A, I already give you the answer. Then any questions for 1? Else we'll proceed to number 2. 1, okay?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Then let me proceed to number 2. Number 2, we have the operations for complex numbers. Okay. Okay, this one. Okay, so for the next question, okay, you are given the complex numbers Z1 to Z4. Simplify the following in A plus Bj. Okay, so let's have a recap by using A and B. Okay, then we move on to others. Okay, so for A, right, Z3 multiply Z4. Okay, so Z3 is actually -2 plus 3j. Then Z4 is -5 minus j. Okay, so expand it as usual. So minus 2 times minus 5 is a 10. Minus 2 times minus j is plus 2j. Then 3j times minus 5, so it's minus 15j. Then plus 3j times minus j, then will be minus 3j squared. Okay, minus 3j squared. Okay, then so now we have a 10 plus 2 minus 15j is actually minus 13j. Okay, then the j square, remember we substitute with minus 1. Okay, so when come to multiplication, I highlight this one. Okay, j square equals to minus 1. So I substitute with minus 1. Then I simplify it further. So 10 plus 3 will be 13 minus 13j. So this is for the multiplication part. Okay, so is it tally with your answer for part A? If for those already done.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, huh? Okay. Next, okay, for question B. Question B is a division. Okay, so Z1 for the top, then Z2 at the bottom. Okay, then remember when come to the division, we need to use the conjugate. Okay, so the conjugate, we are choosing the one at the bottom, right? Okay, so 4 minus 3j, remember we'll inverse the sign of the imaginary part, so it becomes 4 plus 3j. Okay, then we just expand it as usual. Okay, so for the bottom, remember, okay, if you already understand how to do it, so can you see the real part is 4? I just take 4 square plus the imaginary part with the values of 3. So I just take plus 3 square. Okay, then the top I expand it as usual. So 1 times 4, 4, 1 times 3j, then 2j times 4, 8j. Then 2j times 3j, so will be 6j squared. Okay? Okay, then for the bottom, okay, 4 square plus 3 square, 25. Okay, the top, so can you see the 6j square? I can substitute as a minus 1, right? So 3j plus 11, 8j is 11j. Then 6 times minus 1. Okay, so minus 6. 4 minus 6, which is minus 2, plus 11j divided by 25, which we can write it as minus 2 over 25 plus 11 over 25j. So you can calculate this as a decimal as well. Okay. So here I put it in the fraction. So you can put it as a decimal. Okay, so do you get the same answer for B, students?
Yes, Miss. The same answer.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then we will move on to more complicated question. So for C, which is we involve the addition, subtraction, then a division. Okay, so at the top we have Z1 plus Z3. So Z1 is 1 plus 2J. Z3 is actually minus 2 plus 3J. Then for the bottom, Z2, 4 minus 3J minus Z4. So Z4 is minus 5 minus J. Okay, then we just simplify them for the addition and the subtraction. Okay, so can I have a students to let me know what is addition and subtraction? Okay, this time I will ask from the bottom. Okay, so Cheng Hao, what is the addition for the top?
The addition.
The addition part at the top.
-1 plus 5j.
And the subtraction at the bottom?
9 minus 2j.
Okay, 9 minus 2j. Okay, correct. Okay, thank you. Okay, then, okay, so next, okay, Kai Feng. Okay, Kai Feng, what should I multiply? Kai Feng, are you here? Tang Kai Feng? Kai Feng, Tang Kai Feng? Tang Kai Feng, are you here? Tang Kai Feng? Okay, no response from Kai Feng. Okay, Sutesh? Okay, what should I multiply?
9 plus 2j.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Quite soft, huh? Okay. 9 plus 2j, or maybe I put it. Okay, yeah. Then let's move on. Okay, so for the bottom will be 9 square plus 2 square. Then the top, expand it. Okay, so can I have Samuel? Expand the top. Samuel?
Hello.
Yes.
Negative 9
Hmm.
plus 45j minus 2j plus 10j squared.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so minus 9, okay, all minus 9 first. Okay, minus 2, okay, yep, correct. Okay, then we continue to simplify it, right? Okay, so the 10 times j squared, which is a minus 1, minus 10, so negative 19, then plus 43j, then 9 square plus 4 square, 81 plus 4, 85. Okay, then after simplified, okay, so you will get negative 19 over 85, then plus 43 over 85j. Okay, so done for part C. Okay, check your answer. And next is the questions D. Okay, so for questions D, we have Z1, Z3, then Z1 plus Z3. Okay, Z1, Z3, then divided by Z1 plus Z3. Okay. Okay, so next Z1 times Z3, so 1 plus 2J product with minus 2 plus 3J, then divided by 1 plus Z1 plus Z3. So 1 plus 2J plus negative 2 plus 3J. Okay, so, okay, just now we already have the plus, Z1 plus Z3. Okay, from part D. So let's say I take the plus from there. So which is this one, okay? So minus 1 plus 5J, okay, for the bottom. Then the top, we need to expand it. Do we expand Z1, Z3 earlier? No. Okay, so can I have another student to expand it for me? Okay, Muhammad Saad. Okay, Muhammad Saad, what is the expansion for the top? Muhammad Saad. Okay, so, or you can type, okay? So what is the expansion for the top? This part. Okay, so what is the expansion for the top? Okay, minus 2, correct? Okay, then plus 3j. You should put the plus and minus for me. Okay, minus 2 plus 3j, then minus 4j, then plus 6j squared. Okay, so now, okay, so j squared is a minus 1, so minus 6. Minus 6 minus 2 minus 8. Then 3 minus 4 will be minus j. Then divided by minus 1 plus 5j. Okay, so multiply by, okay, can I have the, what should I multiply here? Okay, Tang Kai Fong, are you here? Tang Kai Fong? Tang Kai Fong? Okay, so it's okay. Next person, Man Heng. What should I multiply? Man Heng? What should I multiply? Okay, I want the conjugate here. I'm not asking for a final answer. You just let me know what should you multiply. Okay, then what happened to, okay, so Man Heng give me 1 minus 5j. Okay, you inverse the sign here is correct. Then why you inverse this sign? Okay, so remember when we want to find the complex conjugate, right? We don't inverse the sign for the real part. Real part will always remain. So we just inverse the sign for the imaginary part. So you have to remember that. Okay, so we just inverse the sign for the imaginary part. Okay, so that means we have minus 1 minus 5j. So please take note on this. Okay? Okay, so remember, okay, next. Okay, now let's expand it. Okay, so when I do the expansion, okay, then Man Heng, can you tell me how you calculate for the bottom? What square plus what square? Man Heng? Oh, Kai Fong lagging, huh? Okay. Okay, then Kai Fong, I think if you are lagging means you maybe certain part, if you miss out, then you need to watch a recorded video again. I'm not sure whether you can hear me. Man Heng, how to calculate the denominator? What square plus what square? Man Heng? Where is Man Heng? After answering my question, then Man Heng, how to calculate the one at the bottom? No, you tell me first. Okay? As I say, what square plus what square? I want you to give me this number. How do I calculate? Okay, so what is a real part? No. Okay, so can you still remember? Okay, so during the last week class, right? Okay, I told you when we have complex numbers multiplied with the conjugate. So can you see -1 plus 5j multiplied with -1 minus 5j? Okay, we can calculate it faster by identify what is a real. So can you see the real part is -1? So we calculate by -1 square. Then what is your real part? Okay, your real part, you have number 5, right? So plus 5 square. Okay, so there's a minus sign. Anyway, because when you expand it, right, later must be a positive. Okay, so we can calculate by using this way. -1 square plus 5 square, then will be faster. Do you get it? Because when you expand it at the end, you must get this one. When you multiply the complex numbers with the conjugate. Okay, Manheng? Okay, so later I will ask you again. Huh? Okay, so now expand the one at the top. Okay. So Wei Huan, how about the one at the top? The expansion for the one at the top. 3 plus 41j. Okay, you already give me the answer directly. Yeah. Okay, so let me check. So 8, then plus 40j, then plus j, then plus 5j square. So after simplified, okay. Is it correct? 8, then plus 40j, then plus j, then plus 5j squared. Okay, oh yeah. So j squared is -1. Okay, 8 minus 5, so it's a 3, correct? Then 41j, correct, okay? Then the bottom, 5 squared 25 plus 1, 26. So our answer is 3 over 26 plus 41 over 26j. You can calculate as a decimal. Okay? Okay, yep, correct. This is the answer. Okay? Okay, so next one is the E. Okay, so we need the complex numbers for our reference. Okay, so for questions E, Z2, then we have 4 minus 3j, then plus Z1 over Z4, 1 plus 2j divided by Z4, which is -5 minus j, plus Z3, which is -2 plus 3j. Okay, then, okay, so I think we can simplify this one first. Okay, so 4 minus 2, 2, minus 3 plus 3j, then no more j. So only 2, Okay, then will be easier to solve it later. Okay, then 1 plus 2j divided by -5 minus j. Okay, so okay, Manheng, okay, can you tell me what should multiply here? Manheng?
-5
Then?
plus j.
Yes, correct. Okay, so that means just inverse a sign for imaginary part. Correct, you are right. Okay, thank you. So we only inverse this sign. Okay, then we just expand it as usual. Okay, so the 2 remain. Then what should I calculate for the bottom, this part? Okay, so, okay, Manheng again, can you tell me how to calculate the one at the bottom?
Wait.
So this one, what square plus what square?
5 square.
Okay, can also 5 square, then?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Negative j.
Okay, so you don't need to use the negative j, you can just take the 1 square. Okay, because the j with the 1. Okay, so, okay, why I don't put the j? Why I don't put the j? Because here I already put a plus. Okay, so I'm using the faster way to calculate. Okay, so if you're not using this way, you can just expand it as usual. But of course, that one will be, you need more time to do it. Okay, since here I already put a plus, so that's why I don't involve the j. If I involve the j and I put the plus, then will be the wrong answer. So you have to take note. Okay, it may be the wrong answer. So we just take the, can you see earlier? I don't put the j. Okay, so I don't put the j. I just take the 3. So this is a faster way of doing the calculation. Okay, so 4 square, and then here is a 3, right? So plus 3 square, 4 square plus 3 square. Okay, the faster way to calculate. Okay, get it? But if you really can't remember, okay, then you want to expand it like a normal expansion. Yes, can. It's not wrong, of course. Okay. Okay, then if we move on to the one at the top, okay. So, Jing Yan, what is the expansion for the top? Jing Yan? Harold? Jing Yan, are you here? Okay, so what is the expansion for the top? This one. I want the answer for this part. Minus 5 minus j, 9j minus 2. Okay, so minus 5, then 1j minus 10j. 1j minus 10j minus 9j, correct? Then plus 2j square. Okay, plus 2j square become minus 2, yes. Okay, so after we simplify, so which is, okay, plus 2 minus 5. So minus 3 minus 9j divided by 26. Okay, it's actually plus 2, right? Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, plus 2j, so minus 2. Okay, plus 2j squared, then minus 2. So minus 5 minus 2 is actually minus 7. Okay, then minus 9j over 26. Yeah. Okay, then next. So we have negative, okay, we still have another real number, minus 7 over 26, minus 9 over 26j. Okay, so 2 minus 7 over 26, we can simplify it. So I get 45 over 26, then minus 9 over 26j. Okay? So this is the answer. Okay? Okay, any question for number 2? Okay, we have a recap on the addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Okay? Tally with your answer.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Who is talking?
So, ma'am, can you explain me, Saad, ma'am?
Saad. Okay. Oh, this time you are very clear. Your because previously,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you, miss.
Yes.
So, ma'am, can you explain me that part? How 5 square plus bracket 1, bracket close 1 square? How that 5 square, that
Okay. Okay. I think you are asking for this part. This part, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me explain it again. Okay. Okay. So maybe I should go to another board. Okay, let me explain it again. Okay, so actually this one being discussed in the earlier slide. Okay, so when we take minus 5 minus j multiply with minus plus 5 plus j, is actually the when we take a complex numbers multiply with the complex conjugate. Okay, because they are opposite sign for the imaginary part. So that's why we say the multiplication of the complex number and the complex conjugate. Okay, so if you expand it as usual, you will have negative 5 times negative 5. Okay, then negative 5 plus j. Then minus j times negative 5. Then minus j times plus j. Right? Okay, then since 1 is minus, 1 is plus, right? You will realize that this one will give you 0. Minus 5j plus 5j is a 0. Then at the end, what you have? You have minus 5 square, and then you have minus j square, and j square is minus 1. Okay, so when you multiply with the minus and minus, so it's actually plus 1. Okay? Plus 1, okay, because j square will give you a plus 1. So if we want to do it fast, okay, we can just identify what is a real part. So real part is minus 5. So we can write it as a minus 5 squared. Then for the imaginary part, anyway, at the end, right, because j square will give us minus 1. Okay, so minus and minus here, we will get a plus. So we will always have a plus, right? Then the coefficient, okay, other than j, right? Okay, it's 1j. Both sides also 1j, right? So I take the 1, I multiply with, I take the 1 square. Okay, I take the 1 square, so I have 25 plus 1. Okay, so which is 26. So I always can calculate as this way. Okay, if you involve others numbers, okay, like the earlier one, okay, let's say I take other numbers. So 2 plus 3j times 2 minus 3j. Okay, I can identify what is a real. The real number is a 2. So I just take 2 square plus, okay, then can you see here we have a 3. So I just take plus 3 square. Okay, and this is the faster way, right? We get the answer. 13, right? So if not, then you can expand it as usual. So 2 times 2, you get 2 square. 2 times minus 3j, which is minus 6j. Then 3j times 2 will be 6j. So can you see this part will give you a 0? Okay. Then last part will be minus 3 square, then j square. So you have 4, then 0, then minus j squared will give you minus 1. So can you see the minus 1 and the minus will always give you a plus. That's why we always can write it as this one as a 2 square. Then this one as a 3 square. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. You calculate in the faster way. Okay, so I also explained to others. Okay, so why we can just
Thank you,
calculate.
ma'am.
Yeah, 2 square plus 3 square. Okay, so then I will proceed for, so we start at 2:30. Yeah? Okay, so number 3 is a quick one. Okay, number 3 is a quick one. Huh? Okay, so for part A, we need to expand. Okay, so 2 plus 3j times 3 minus 4j equals to x plus yj. So confirm we need to expand the one at the left first. Huh? Okay, so can I have another student? Okay, Junho. Okay, what is the expansion at the left? Give me the expansion at the left, Junho. Junho, are you here? Okay, so he gave me 6 minus 8j. Yes, 2 times 3, 6. 2 minus 4, so minus 8j. Then 3j times 3 is 9j. Yes. Then minus 12j squared. Correct. Okay, thank you. So j squared is a minus 1 times minus 12 is a 12. So 18 plus j equals to x plus yj. Okay, so how we going to solve this? Okay, so basically we just need to compare the value, right? So the real compare with the real, so we have x equals to 18 and y equals to 1. Okay, y equals to 1. Okay, okay, so do you get the same answer, guys?
Yes, miss. Same answer.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so part B, we have 4 plus 5j equals to x plus yj minus 1 minus j. Okay, so the left hand side, you can see the real part and the imaginary part. So for the right hand side, you should do the same. You need to simplify them. Okay, so the real and the real, so x and minus 1 is a real part. And then the imaginary part is a y. And then there's a minus j over here, right? So that means it will be y plus 1j. Okay, so because the left the bracket will be minus 1 plus j. So y plus 1j. Okay, okay, then we try to compare the left and the right. So the real part is actually 4. X minus 1 equals to 4, so x equals to 5. Then for the 5j, so compare the imaginary part, y plus 1 equals to 5, so y equals to 4. Okay? Okay, so done? Okay. Okay, before we proceed to 4, 5, 6, 7, let's have a short break. Okay, give you a 10 minutes break. So we come back after 10 minutes. Okay, let's come back after 10 minutes, okay? Okay, students, let's continue. Okay, take the attendance first. Today is T4. Okay, students, since you have one semester 12 weeks, right? Your mid-sem is actually after 6 weeks. So now is week 8 already. So if you have any, remember for students, they can give the rating. They can give the comment to the lecturers during the middle of the semester. Okay, so if you have any comment or anything, you can actually put it in the student survey. Okay, there's a mid-semester and also end of the semester survey. Okay, if you have anything, you can raise it there. Okay, for your information. Okay, so the others student survey will be end of the semester. Normally, students will only submit the survey after the exam and before they actually check the result. So because when you want to check your result online, you must submit the survey in order so that you can actually check your result. Okay, so for mid-semester, you can do it middle of the semester. If you have any suggestion or anything, want to give the feedback, you can put it there. Okay. Okay, who is not here? One absent. Samuel, you are here, right, Samuel? So just now Samuel is here, right? Or maybe he haven't come back yet. Samuel? Okay. So I tag him.
Oh, sorry, I came back late, miss.
Okay. So I take your attendance. Okay, so all present. Okay, let's move on. Next one is the number 4. It's still deal with the operation. So I think the first 3 will be the basic one. Can I ask for the solution for these 3 questions? Okay, then before I proceed to D and E, okay, so I think Kritakon haven't finished the question. Okay, so Ilalam, do you have a solution for 4A?
No, miss, I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Benny? Do you have the solution for A? Benny?
No, miss.
No, Okay, Excel, do you have a solution for A?
Yes.
Okay, post it for me. Thank you. Okay, so who have a solution for B? Anyone have a solution for B? For B. So Excel will post for 4A. How about 4B?
Miss, I can post.
You are Cheng Hao, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can post for B. Thank you. How about C? Any others? One more? Samuel, do you have solution for 4C?
Yes, miss.
Okay, post a solution for 4C. Okay, so we have A, B, C. I think just now I missed out Ziyi. So why I didn't call him? Just now. Okay. Okay, let's see the solution from Excel. Oh, okay. Very simple one. So for A, okay, this is for 4A. Okay, so 2 times 3, 6, then 2 times 4, 8J minus 21J minus 28J squared. So the final answer is 34 minus 13J. Yes, correct. Okay. Okay, next one for division from Cheng Hao. For B, okay, so for Cheng Hao, 1 minus J, 1 plus J, so referring to the inverse of the bottom. Okay, correct. Then the bottom is 1 square plus 1 square. The top is 1 minus J times 1 minus J. So bottom is a 2. At the top will be 1 minus 2J plus J square. Yes, okay. J square is minus 1. So minus 2J over 2 minus J. Yes, okay. The answer is correct. Okay. So next, waiting from Samuel, okay, for 4C. Okay, so far this is a solution for the 2 questions. Okay, please check it out. So next, from
Miss.
yes.
Question A, isn't it negative 22?
Wait, negative 22.
Oh wait, never mind.
I think you spot the, okay, yeah. Then Samuel, okay, solution for C. Okay, so this is a solution for C, 2 minus 5J, 3 plus 4J. So times 3 minus 4J, 3 minus 4J, correct. The bottom is a 3 square plus 4 square. The top, which is 6 minus, minus 15J, then okay, then minus 8J, yes. Then plus 20J squared, yes. Okay, so will be after cancelling, after simplified, minus 14 over 25 minus 25. Okay, so this one correct. Okay, so the solution from Samuel also correct. Okay, done. Right, ABC. Okay, check your answer. Okay, now let's proceed to questions D. Okay, D looks a bit different with the normal questions that we go through. Okay, so how we deal with this question? So we can just solve it like how we do it for normal algebra. Okay, so that means we can have a common denominator. So that means we have j multiplied by 2j for the bottom to have a common denominator. So from the first fraction, I will multiply by 2 plus j. And for the second fraction, I should multiply by j. Okay, so at the top, we have 2 plus j and plus j. Okay, so the top I can simplify as 2 plus 2j. Then the bottom, I have to multiply by j. So I have j times j square, which is minus 1. Then j times 2, so plus 2j. Okay, so next, okay, we need to multiply with the complex conjugate. Okay, so Ng Ziyi, okay, what is a complex conjugate? I should multiply here. Ziyi? Ng Ziyi, are you here? Ng Ziyi, are you here?
Yes, miss.
Okay, what should I multiply here?
-1 minus 2j.
Okay, correct. Then can you tell me how to expand the bottom?
+1.
Square plus
2 square.
2 square. Okay, thank you. Okay, how about the one at the top?
-2 minus 4j plus 2j minus 2j, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then minus 4j square.
Okay, correct. Okay, so let's simplify it. So we have 5 at the bottom. Then minus 4j square, j square minus 1. So minus 4 minus 1 plus 4. Minus 2 plus 4, so it's a 2. So minus 6j. So we have 2 over 5 minus 6 over 5j. So for questions D. Okay? Okay. Any question for D? Clear?
That's clear, miss.
Okay, thank you. Then next is a E.
Miss, it should be
Yes.
2 plus 6j. Because -4, j square is -1, so it's plus 4.
Plus 4.
Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, I see wrong. Sorry, miss.
Okay. Okay, yeah? Okay, so let's move on to next question. Okay, so next question is a j times, there's a square. Okay, so we leave the j first. We try to settle the one for the square. So means we should square the top and we should square the one at the bottom. Okay, then before we bring in the j, so at the top we expand it as usual. So we have 1 square, which is 1, plus 1 times 3j, then times 2, 6j. Then square of the 3j will be 9j squared. So for the bottom, 1 square, which is 1, minus 2 times 1, then times 2, minus 4j. Then a square for the minus 2j, then will be plus 4j squared. Okay, plus 4j squared. So for the top, okay, let's simplify the bracket first. So j squared is minus 1 times 9, minus 9. Minus 9 plus 1 is minus 8. Then for the bottom, j squared is minus 1 times 4, minus 4 plus 1, minus 3, minus 4j. Okay, so next, we need to bring the j into the bracket. So we have minus 8j plus 6j squared. So which is 6 times minus 1. So the bottom, minus 3, minus 4j. So we have minus 6 minus 8j divided by minus 3 minus 4j. Okay, so what is the next? Okay, now we deal with the division, right? Okay, so what should I multiply? Can I have Benny? What should I multiply, Benny?
Negative 3 plus 4j.
Yes, correct. Minus 3 plus 4j. Yeah? Okay, then Benny, can you tell me how to calculate the value at the bottom?
3 squared plus 4 squared.
Sorry?
Negative 3 squared plus 4 squared.
Okay, so negative 3 squared plus 4 squared, correct? Okay, so thank you. Okay, then we expand the top. Kritakon, expand the top. Kritakon, expand the top.
18 minus 24j plus 24j minus 32j square.
Yes, correct. Okay. Yeah, you are right. So the bottom will be 16 plus 9, 25. Okay, so at the top, 32 times negative 1, so plus 32. So 32 minus 18, so it's a 14. Okay, so we only have 14 at the top. Okay. Okay, hold on. Do I miss out anything here? Okay, how come I get 14? Okay, do I miss out anything here? I think I miss out something here. Okay, 1 plus 6j plus 9j squared minus 9 minus 8 plus 6j, correct? Okay, so 1 minus 4j plus 4j squared. So minus 4 minus 3 minus 4j, correct? Then bring in the j. So is it, how come something's wrong here? Oh, okay, wait. So then at the top, minus 8j minus 1. Okay, minus 6 minus 8j. So the bottom minus 3 minus 4j minus 3 plus 4. Okay, so do you see anything wrong here? Or is it tally with your answer? Hold on. Do I have any careless mistake here? Okay, minus 3 squared, 4 squared. The top. Oh, yeah, plus 32, correct. Okay, so because this is plus, not minus. Okay, plus 32, so which is 50. Yep, correct. Okay, tally. Okay, thanks. Okay, so there are two ways to solve these questions. Okay, for solving this question. So the other way, you can take J, then you can do the square later. So this is another alternate way. Okay, so you can deal with the one inside the bracket first, then at the end you square it also can. Okay, for me, the method I'm showing just now, I square first for the top and the bottom, then I deal with the complex conjugate here, then I expand it and I get 2. Okay, so if you are using this way, right, at the end you will get the answer of 2 as well. Okay. Okay, any question for E? Clear?
Yes, miss, clear.
Okay, that's good. Then we done number 4. Okay, then we move on to number 5. And after today class, don't forget to put your works today, your solutions today in the team later. Okay. Okay, so for these questions, okay, given x plus yj over j equals to 7 plus 9j, x and y are real, determine x plus yj times x minus yj, okay? So for this case, that means for number 5, you need to determine what is the x and y first before you can proceed to find this. Okay, before you can proceed to find this, from here, you need to find what is the x, what is the y. Okay, so let's start with this part. X plus yj divided by j equals to 7 plus 9j. Okay, so for this case, right, okay, the left hand side we deal with the division, but the bottom we only have a j. So for this case, so what should I multiply? Excel? What should you multiply? Excel? What do you think you should multiply if you only have a j?
J.
Okay, this case if you multiply with j also can, okay? Or you multiply minus j also correct, okay? Because they don't have a real part here, huh? They don't have a real part, okay? So you can you can multiply j, but for me, I will suggest you to multiply minus j, okay? So because I don't want to get some students to confuse, because when we say conjugate, we inverse the sign of the imaginary part, okay? So I put minus j. But if you multiply by j for this case, you also can solve it. Okay, so that means there are two alternate way: multiply minus j or multiply j. Okay. Okay, then we move on. So okay, the bottom we have j times j will be j squared, then with a minus j squared. So minus j squared at the bottom, then the top we have a minus xj, then minus yj squared equals to 7 plus 9j. So j squared is minus 1, so at the bottom minus minus is a 1. Okay, so you have a 1 at the bottom. Then at the top, j squared is a minus 1 times minus y, so it's a y minus xj. So divided by 1, so you have y minus xj equals to 7 plus 9j. Just compare both sides. So y equals to 7. Then here is minus x. Minus x equals to 9. So x equals to minus 9. Okay, so y equals to 7, x equals to negative 9. Okay. Okay, next we should proceed to find x plus yj, then x minus yj. So which is the x, which is minus 9, the y is 7. Okay. Okay, so when you look at here, it's a multiplication of the complex numbers and its conjugate. So you can actually take it as minus 9 squared plus 7 squared. Okay, so the answer is 130. Okay, done. So is that clear?
Yes, miss. It's clear.
Okay, thank you. Then we have question 6. Okay, question 6. Find all the complex numbers of the form of Cartesian form, z equals to a plus bj, where a and b are real numbers such that the z multiplied with the z bar equals to 25. What is a z bar? So the z bar is actually complex conjugate. So this one is a complex conjugate. And a plus b equals to 7. Okay, a plus b equals to 7. Okay, so then how are we going to solve this question? Okay, so given at z multiplied by z bar equals to 25. So z is actually a plus bj. Then may I know what is the complex conjugate? Okay, so who can answer this question? Okay, Junho, what is a complex conjugate? If z is a plus bj, then what is the complex conjugate? Junho? A minus bj, yes, correct. So this is a minus bj equals to 25. Okay, so remember how we calculate it faster. That means a squared plus b squared equals to 25. Okay, a squared times b squared equals to 25. Okay, then this is the first equation. Then after that, you are given another equation. A plus B equals to 7. Okay, A plus B equals to 7. Okay, so now you need to solve this. Okay, so you need to solve this simultaneously. Okay, let's solve this. Okay, I think you have to use a substitution. Okay, so that means A equals to 7 minus B, for example. Then you try to substitute a squared as 7 minus b, then square, plus b squared equals to 25 for the first equation. Okay? Then try to solve for b. Let me know what is your answer for b. So you need to simplify this part. Okay, then I think you will have b in terms of the equation in terms of b. So when you expand it, right, okay, then you simplify it, then you will get b squared minus 7b plus 12 equals to 0. Then you will proceed to factorize it. Then you will get two answers for the b. Okay, so you find the answer for b first, then you solve for a. Okay, anyone have the answer for b? 4 and 3. Okay, correct. Okay, so the answer is 4 and 3. Okay, thank you. The answer from Harold. Okay, then we can proceed to find A. So that means when B equals to 3, then A equals to 7B, right? So 7 minus 3, then is 4. Okay, then if B equals to 4, then A will be equals to 7 minus 4, which is 3. Okay, so these are two sets of the possible answer for A and B. Find all complex numbers of the form of Z equals A plus B. Okay, so that means since you asked to find all complex numbers in this form, okay, then your answer should be, okay, the complex numbers are okay, first one, when A is 4, B is 3, so that means Z equals to 4 plus 3j, and z equals to the others one, 3 plus 4j. Okay, 4 plus 3j and 3 plus 4j. So these are the answers. Okay, clear? Clear?
Yes, miss. It's clear.
Okay. So settle this question. Then question 7. Okay. Okay, next one, 7, you have to determine the following in polar form. Okay, so for your recap, what is a polar form? Okay, so the z in the polar form, so which we write it as a r cos theta plus r sine theta j. And we always abbreviate it as a r angle theta. So normally we'll express as this form. Okay, r angle theta. Okay, so basically this one involves the operation again. Okay, so you just conduct the operation on the Cartesian form as usual. Then after that you will convert it into the polar form. Okay, so that means for part A, 3 minus 4j, right, divided by 4 plus 5j. So as usual, you multiply them as a conjugate. So 4 minus 5j, 4 minus 5j. Okay, then we just expand it as usual. So bottom is 4 square plus 5 square. Then at the top, 12 minus 15j, then minus 16j, then plus 20j squared. Okay? Okay, then next, okay, so the bottom. So you have 41 at the bottom. So at the top, okay, minus 20, yeah? So which is minus 8, 12 minus 20, then minus 31j. Okay, so this one we will have minus 8 over 41 minus 31 over 41j. Okay, so now this is our answer in the Cartesian form. Okay, the answer in the Cartesian form, but now they require the answer in the polar form, right? Okay, so let's identify which one is x, which one is the y. Huh? Okay, so remember this one should be our x, then this is our y. Okay, so because complex numbers we can write as y equals to x plus yj, right? Okay, okay, so now if we want to write it in the polar form, okay, so for your recap, okay, how to calculate for the r, okay, so r is actually square root of x squared plus y squared. That's why I asked you to identify what is a x, what is a y. Then theta is actually arctangent of y over x. Okay, so now for the r, right? Okay, so r we need to take x squared plus y squared. So your x is minus 8 over 41. Then your y is minus 31 over 41. You square them and find the square root. Okay, square them and find the square root. Okay, so what do you get? Okay, so when you square it, okay, and then plus together, you will get 25 over 41. So at the top, we can get the square root, so which is 5 over square root of 41. That is for r. So for the r, right, it depends on you. You want to write the answer as a fraction, or you can write it as a decimal. So it's actually quite common that they write it in the decimal, but to me, right, because it's easier for us to check the answer, so that's why I always put in the fraction. So it's actually 0.78, 781. If I put as 3 decimal places, 0.781. Okay, then how about the this one is a modulus, okay? Remember, we call it as modulus. Then next, we need to find the argument, which is a theta. So arctangent of, okay, both have a sign, right? Negative sign. But when I find the basic angle, I don't include the sign. So the values of the y is negative 31 over 41. Then the bottom, the x is negative 8 over 41. Okay, so find the values here. Okay. Okay, so what is the angle you all find? Tell me the angle. $75.53. Okay. So now we need to identify which quadrant. Okay, so can you see x is negative, y also negative? By looking at the Argand diagram, okay, where is x negative, y negative? Which quadrant? X negative, y negative, which quadrant? Third quadrant, yes, okay. So x negative, y negative is in the third quadrant, okay. So for this quadrant, x is negative, y is also negative, okay. So is it everybody clear about this? Right, okay, x negative, y negative is in the third quadrant. So when this is in the third quadrant, okay, so this is the basic angle we found, 75.53. So in order to get the argument, okay, so in order to get the argument, so normally this is what I did. Okay, so I found the arctangent of this, so which is 75.53. Then for the theta, normally we use it as a notation for the argument. So since this is in the third quadrant, so I take 180 plus 75.53. Okay, so the answer will be 255.53. Okay. Okay, so okay, so I can write my answer as a 255.53, okay, or okay, this is one option, okay, so I can write my answer as okay, wait, your R is 0.781 angle 255.53. Okay. Or, okay, remember we always, if we follow the principal value, right? Principal value. So when come to the third quadrant, then we will represent our angles as a negative angle. So if I present it as a negative angle, so in order to get this angle, remember we always measure our angle from this axis, positive x-axis. Okay, so now if I want to get the angle of negative angle, so I should take 180 minus 75.53. So I get 104.47, the negative angle. So negative 104.47. Okay, so this is the answers. Okay, is that clear? Okay, clear? Okay, so yeah, it's a bit troublesome on the converting to the polar form. Okay, that part is a bit troublesome.
Miss,
Okay, yes.
it's not necessary to draw the diagram, right?
No. Now just for your understanding. Okay, so yeah, this part is not required. Just for your understanding. Okay. The part that required is you need to show how you find R and show how you find the argument, then give the answers, this one or this one. Okay.
Okay, miss, thank you.
Okay, then next part is question B. Okay, so B as usual, you just do it as usual, conduct the operation as usual. Then the last part, you only put it in the polar form. So,
Hi, Miss.
yes.
For the angles, right? I thought in polar form it should be negative 90 to 90 degrees.
Negative pi to pi, the principal value. Principal value.
Oh, it's 180. Oh, okay.
Negative pi to pi.
Also, I can put 255.53 also.
Sorry, again?
So I can put the 255.53 also.
Okay, 255.53 can, but it's not reflect to the normal principal value that we use.
Oh.
So remember last time I say if we follow the principal value, so when the angle is in the third and fourth quadrant, then we present as a negative angle. If let's say it's a first and second quadrant, we present it as a positive angle. Positive angles means we measure like this.
Okay. So the best, right, is to take the negative one for the third and fourth.
Suppose, very common that we see, if you look at the books, so they, when come to third and fourth quadrant, they always present as a negative angle. Okay, but of course, I'm not saying that this is wrong. It's just not follow the principal value.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then we move on to questions B. Okay, so for questions B, right? Okay, then we expand it as usual for the top. So we have 6 plus 4j, then minus 3j, then minus 2j squared. So which is minus 1, okay, divided by 3 minus 4j. Okay, so when I simplified the one at the top plus 2, so 8 plus j divided by 3 minus 4j. Then again for the division part, okay, 3 plus 4j multiply with the conjugate. Okay, then for the conjugate part, so it is 3 squared plus 4 squared. Then for the top, 24 plus 32j plus 3j, then plus 4j squared. So plus 4j squared, I just write it as minus 4. Okay, so okay, let's simplify further. Okay, 25 at the bottom. So at the top, 24 minus 4, 20. Then 32 plus 3, 35j. Okay, so it is, let's simplify this, 20 over 25 or 4 over 5. Then 7 over 5j. Okay, so the next part, we need to convert it into the polar form, okay? So let's calculate for the R. Let's identify what is a X, what is a Y. So X is 4 over 5, Y is 7 over 5. Okay, so this is X, this is Y. Okay, let's calculate for the R square. Okay, sorry, the R equals to square root of 4 over 5 square plus 7 over 5 square. Okay, so when you find the R, okay, what is the R here? Okay, you have a square root of 13 over 5. So which is giving you 1.612. Okay, 1.612. Then next is a arctangent. Okay, arctangent, y divided by x. Okay, so 7 over 5 divided by 4 over 5. Okay, so the angle you get is 60.26. Okay, now x positive, y positive. Can you tell me which quadrant? Can you tell me which quadrant? First quadrant, correct. Okay, so first quadrant we have x positive, y positive. So x positive, y positive. Okay, so your theta is answer of 60.26. So we can write this as 1.612 R, angle theta 60.26 degree. So which is R angle theta. Okay? Okay, so this is the answer. Okay? Any question?
Excuse me, miss. For the quadrants, so in the first quadrant, x and y is positive, yeah? For the second,
Okay, for first quadrant, both x and y are positive. Okay.
okay.
So you want to know how to know whether which quadrant is it?
Yes, miss, yes.
Okay, so as I say, when you have a z equals to x plus yj, right? So when you present it in the diagram, right? So the x, I think you know, is a horizontal axis. And the x is for the real part. And for the y, right? Y, you know, vertical axis, that is an imaginary part. Okay? So basically, you just follow the normal coordinate system. So because when come to normal coordinate system, so for the first quadrant is actually for x positive, y positive. So when come to second quadrant, right, since it's to the above the x-axis, so your y is a positive here. Then how about your x? Because it's to the left already, your x is negative. It's actually same like a normal coordinate system. Understand?
Yeah, miss, I understand it now, yeah. So in the second, it will be x negative, y positive. The
Then how
third,
about third?
both of them will be negative. And the fourth, x is positive and y is negative.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, miss.
So fourth quadrant will be x is positive, y is negative. Yes. Okay, understand. Just follow normal coordinate system. Okay, almost 4:30 already. We still have one more question. So I think I just give you the answer because I have a student's appointment. So if anything, we can still proceed this discussion tomorrow. Okay, but I just give you the answer. Actually, this is our last answer. Okay, my answer is actually 3.54 angle 98.13. So is that tally with your answer?
Yes, miss.
Yes, okay, so this one will be, okay, I show you one more answers. Okay, so after you try to simplify, right, you get 3 plus 4j divided by 1 minus j. Okay, then you will multiply by 1 plus j, 1 plus j, right? Okay, so then you simplify again, you get negative 1 over 2 plus 7 over 2j. Okay, then after that you convert to the what's that? The polar form. So x is negative, y is positive, so it's in the second quadrant. Okay, so 98.13 is in the second quadrant. Huh? Okay, so if you think it's okay, then yeah. If you after you practice this, if you found that you have a doubt, so you can let me know tomorrow. Then I can just spend 5 to 10 minutes to discuss this question. Else tomorrow I will just start with our discussion for the class test 2. Okay, revision class for tomorrow, class test 2. Okay, so just how Cheng Hao said, the answer is tally. Okay, then I think that's all for today. So I will see you tomorrow again. So you can practice the revision questions. If you have any doubts, you can ask me tomorrow. Okay, then is there any questions before I dismiss the class?
No, miss.
Okay, no. Okay, then I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye students.
Thank you, miss.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you, miss.
Yep, welcome.
Thank you, miss. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.